Hi computer scientists! In this video we're going to look at modulo or remainder operator. So modulo, or mod as it's often called, means the remainder. So if we divide 6 by 2, that would equal 3 and there's 0 left over. So the remainder when we divide 6 by 2 is 0. So this prints 0. This percent sign means mod or modulo or remainder. If we do 7 modulo 2, if we divide 7 by 2, then we have 3 remainder 1, because 3 times 2 is 6, and then 1 more. So 7 modulo 2 is 1. What is 8 modulo 2? What is the remainder when we divide 8 by 2? That's 0. What about 9 modulo 2? What's the remainder when 9 is divided by 2? 1. Now, it doesn't have to just be with 2. You can choose any number you want. So if we have 9 modulo 5, what's the remainder when we divide 9 by 5? 4. We have 5 and 4 make 9. What if we have 13 modulo 5? What is that? 3. 5 times 2 is 10, and then we have 3 left over. So that's what the modulo operator does. This is really helpful when you have cycles that you're going through. One example of a cycle is the weeks. You have Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then it repeats again with Sunday. So we can use our modulo operator to help us do that. Because the weeks repeat, we're going to say while to get a loop, and we'll say while true for now. Then let's have a variable called day, and let's set it equal to 0. Each day number will print out the corresponding day name. So if our day is 0, we're going to print Sunday. Else, if our day double equals 1, we'll print out Monday. How would we write the next code for Tuesday? Else if day double equals 2, colon, print Tuesday. Let's keep going. Now we have, if the day is 0, Sunday 1, Monday, Tuesday 2, Wednesday 3, Thursday 4, Friday 5, 6 on Saturday. Now we need to make sure the day will change each time we run our while loop. To do that, we need to increment day. How do we increment day? We write day equals day plus 1. So now let's run this. It only prints it one time, and the loop has not stopped. We want it to continue to print the days of the week. After Saturday, it should print Sunday again. However, right now, our day, after we've done 6, would be 7 and then 8, and we don't have a condition for that. To fix that, we're going to use our modulo arithmetic. So instead of saying day equals day plus 1, we're going to set it equal to day plus 1 modulo 7. Why do you think I'm using mod 7? Because there are 7 days in the week. So now if I run this code, it keeps printing the days of the week over and over and over. Because once we get to 7, if we do 7 divide 7, the remainder is 0. That goes back to this part of the code. So anytime you have a cycle of something that repeats, you can use your modulo operator to help you cycle through them. This is particularly helpful in games where you have multiple players. So let's look at this example. We have a game that has 5 plays, and let's say we have 2 people playing the game. Misael and Sayem are playing. Each time they play, they're going to put their name in this list. First, we're going to set a variable called player equal to 0. If the player is 0, we're going to put in Misael at that index. If the player number is 1, we're going to put in Sayem. And then we're going to print the list and increment our index. And we're going to stop when our index gets to 5. So when we run this code, this is what we get. So the first time it puts in Misael, the second time it's putting in Misael, and each time it's only putting in Misael until the whole entire list is filled with Misael. It's not switching turns because we never switch the player. So let's switch the player. The first step is to increment the player. So we'll say player equals player plus 1. Now let's see what happens. We have Misael, and then the next turn it's Sayem, and then it's neither of them. What's happening is the first time we go through, the player is set to 0, so that puts in Misael. Then we increment it by 1. The player is now set to 1, so when we repeat the loop, the player is 1, so it prints Sayem. Then we increment player again, and player is now 3. How can we make it go back to Misael? How can we make it go back to 0? To do that, we need to use our modulo operator. So make sure you put this in parentheses, modulo, and 2, because we have 2 players. So now if we run this code, you can see it by the end, it's Misael, Sayem, Misael, Sayem, Misael. So it's going back and forth between the 2 players. What if we had 3 players? How would we add them into this code? Well, you would need another else if player double equals 2 plays at end. Let's say Azra joins the game. So now we have 3 players, 0, 1, and 2. Let's see if this works. It's still just printing Misael and Sayem. What do we need to change to make Azra also have a turn? We need to change our modulo, instead of 2, 3, because we have 3 players now. So if I run this, we now are alternating between Misael, Sayem, Azra, Misael, Sayem, and if we have another one, it would be Azra. You're going to use this in the tic-tac-toe game to add 2 players to your tic-tac-toe game. Use this video as a guide. Good luck!